Battle Creek, Michigan, welcome. Are you ready?
Yes, we are.
Proceed.
Good afternoon. I'm Mark Benke, Mayor of the Cereal City, USA, also known as Battle Creek, Michigan. We welcome you to the home of the Potawatomi, Ottawa Native American tribes, Sojourner Truth, Kellogg Brothers, and C.W. Post. We as a city are making honest reflections on our past so that we may combat the challenges brought forth. Today, we come together to develop our collective vision for the future. We are taking initiatives to listen to our community and work towards cultivating trust, creating civic engagement, and presenting equitable opportunities. Because we believe in Battle Creek.
We want to tell you a story. An industrial migration in the 1940s brought African Americans from the South to Battle Creek. Many groups settled in a neighborhood called the Bottoms.
The Bottoms was a tight-knit community of predominantly low-income blacks and ethnic whites, a lively, vibrant, and happy place where children played and businesses thrived. I know because I lived there.
In 1947, a disastrous flood devastated 1,000 homes and businesses in the Bottoms. Over 7,500 residents were forced to evacuate their homes. After the flood, the city leaders planned a flood prevention project to widen and relocate the channel of the Kalamazoo River. By the mid-1950s, they bought up properties in the Bottoms, demolished buildings, and rezoned the area, forcing families to leave. Many were relocated to deteriorating houses in another area of town, and the Bottoms vanished from the city's social geography.
The story of the Bottoms and the displacement of African American residents highlights an important event in our city's history that contributed to a great divide between the communities within our city. I know because I was displaced. But let me tell you another story. In March 2015, a group of more than 20 people, including myself, set out to directly engage with the community. In 1 month, our team knocked on more than 30,000 doors, canvassing and conversing in racially and diverse neighborhoods. Our goal was to identify members' priority areas of concerns for transformative change.
From listening to the diverse feedback, 3 main concerns were identified: increasing the number of permanent jobs, ensuring residents are ready for work, and creating a culture of vitality. This community-driven movement for change inspired and led to the creation of BC Vision.
As a city manager, I take to heart our commitment to provide better platforms for our residents to be heard. When we embarked on starting the Burn Criminal Justice Project, residents participated in the planning led by the local Urban League and others. As city staff sat alongside residents, some were skeptical, but by the end, everyone attending was engaged in the planning and the process.
Part of our due understanding was that the residents' main concern were quality of life. Front yard parking, trash in the yard, empty vacant houses, and lower lighting.
The Burn Grant allows us to collectively address these issues through increased officer assignments, foot patrols, and community programs.
While listening to our neighbors and working together, we build the trust and relationship necessary to make our neighborhoods safer and a better place to live.
Through leading a collaborative initiative with the police department and our local Burma Center, we provided inviting and safe gatherings for Burmese refugees to voice their challenges and concerns. Our focus was to cultivate positive experiences between Burmese refugees and law enforcement, to address a significant lack of understanding, familiarity, and trust. The goal of the gatherings was to provide actionable solutions to this diverse community.
The main challenges we heard among the Burmese individuals were unfamiliarity with the process of calling 911, lack of understanding between state, local police, and county police, negative perception of law enforcement, intimidation of police due to past experience with the Burmese police and government.
As a result of these conversations, city staff, the police department, and the Burmese community joined forces to seek improved solutions that includes a Burmese liaison to the city to connect Burmese residents with the resources and serves as our official interpreter. Through this outreach initiative, we continue to enhance the relationship with our Burmese community with more inclusive and accessible resources, inspiring our immigrant outreach.
Let me tell you about my hard truths. I don't want my kids growing up feeling like there isn't a place for them to flourish and be successful. True. I have concerns for the youth in my community, and I have concerns about the racism and lack of truth and equity in our schools. True. My community struggles with providing a sense of belonging to people of color, and many feel they're not given the same opportunities and privileges as white people. I'm concerned for our children's future. True. Our children of color are developing a negative perspective of leadership because they're not seeing the same rules applied to everyone. As we learn to better understand one another, we come closer to understanding the oneness of humankind. And if we fail to do so, we fail our children, and we fail our future, and we miss the opportunity to truly learn and connect with others. True.
By deepening relationships and building trust amongst folks of different racial identities, the Battle Creek Coalition for Truth, Racial Healing, and Transformation is cultivating our community's collective dream for racial equity. This work was birthed out of the W.K. Kellogg Foundation, whose hometown is Battle Creek, Michigan. We are prioritizing efforts to repair, restore, and strengthen relationships with one another and within ourselves by emphasizing racial healing and systemic change. We found youth of color in our schools are experiencing blatant racism as evidenced by the disproportionate disciplinary actions against students of color. To address this, one school district requires staff training on implicit bias as well as applying trauma-informed approaches. Joint school board meetings between 4 local high schools are also focusing on restorative practices. For the past 2 years, along with other 14 cities in the nation, we've been doing local programming on the National Day of Racial Healing, amongst other activities that includes volunteers carrying large red hearts around the community to promote our message of healing.
This is not the only challenge we are working to overcome. Race division by neighborhoods, anger and frustration, corrupt hiring practices, the need for affordable housing, the lack of a pathway for women and people of color to become successful small business owners. As we continue opening pathways for our community to succeed, it is the responsibility of every neighbor to actively seek deeper, truthful connections based on advancing racial equity. Standing on the shoulders of those who came before us and who work alongside us, we aim to support all of Battle Creek's racial justice efforts.
We can't see Battle Creek's future without first recognizing our past. The work of Truth, Racial Healing, and Transformation and the Burn Grant are connecting neighbors and our police officers in positive ways. Our BC Vision Initiative tackles the most critical challenges our neighbors face and inspired our first 3 pillars: jobs, talent, and culture of vitality. Just this month, our community has stepped forward with new pillars, building on the conversations and efforts so far, guiding the next phase of this work. Succeeding at a job interview is full of barriers for some of our neighbors. Our employment preparation fairs have helped at least 400 neighbors write resumes, learn how to be interviewed, and find childcare and transportation, a big step for many.
We want to make Battle Creek better for mine and future generations. We continue to see the youth involvement strengthening. We will continue to fight for roles in our community as we strive to make our city better.
As the president of the Youth Advisory Board, I help to represent the voice of youth in our city. I am a past president of my high school's Gay Straight Alliance, which led me to serving on the Sexual Health Initiative for Transformation team. and our goal was to be more inclusive when educating sexual and reproductive health. Battle Creek itself is striving to be more accepting and inclusive and safe for everyone. Through youth leadership opportunities in our city, the next generation is able to engage and advocate for issues that they care deeply about, which is helping to shape the future of Battle Creek.
We know and will not ignore the significant inequities in the Battle Creek community.
Because we believe in the infinite possibilities of individuals. We will.
Listen to and act upon the voices of the unheard.
Because we believe that education is the great equalizer.
We will direct resources to where the need is greatest.
Because we believe that everyone has the right to financial stability. We will
break down barriers to employment.
We will be bold and act with a sense of urgency. Because we believe in Battle Creek.